I am speedy.
That is great.
Okay, maybe you aren't, but these guns are. Get ready to discover the fastest weapons in Call of Duty Mobile and leave your opponents in the dust. Kachow. Starting with the shotgun category, we have the KRM. We actually don't talk about it on the channel because usually we either talk about the R90 or potential alternatives to the KRM. But it's a great shotgun, obviously. It offers roughly 12 meters of good damage, making the one-shot kill quite consistent within this range. The ADS spread is twice as accurate as the hipfire spread, so don't hesitate to ADS when it seems appropriate. For mobility, the only two things that are useful for a shotgun are the sprint speed and the walking speed. And both of them are great. We have 6.6 meters per second sprint speed and 5.1 meters per second walking speed. Overall, the best compromise between damage, mobility, and fire rate compared to the HSO and the BY-15. Even though we rarely talk about it, I highly recommend you to try it if you want to get used to shotguns. Next up, at the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the fastest LMG, and it's the Holger. But not the usual Holger, the AR hybrid Holger. Concerning damage, range, and BSA, it's exactly like the classic Holger. Not ideal, but mobility-wise, it's quite good actually. We have a 348 millisecond ADS time, a 6.1 meters per second sprint speed, and a 3.5 meters per second strafe speed. In comparison, apart from the ADS time, which is a bit slow, we're close to Flex AR standards. And by using the AR hybrid build, we still have a decent mag, which contains 40 bullets, which is not that small to be honest. Here's the gunsmith we used for the Holger. Next up, let's talk about the fastest SMG, the MAC-10. When it got released, it was so fast that they nerfed it within 12 hours. Nowadays, it's not used much, but it has the best mobility of the SMG category. 6.8 meters per second sprint speed and 5 meters per second strafe speed. Put that on a fast-firing SMG that can ADS within 0.2 of a second, and you've got the weapon that will make you say, I am speed. Here's the gunsmith for the MAC-10. Next up, from the sniper category, we had two choices. It was either the XPR or the Outlaw, but since we talk about the XPR in every top 10 video because of how cracked this thing is, it's only fair we talk a little bit about the Outlaw here. It's the fastest bolt action sniper in the game, offering an ADS time under 300 milliseconds. The rest of the mobility stats are obviously not at rest, with a 6.2 meters per second sprint speed, and even though the other stats don't matter at all on a sniper, they are great in comparison to what we usually have. It's quite complicated to manage that sniper because of how fast it is, but it can be extremely fun to use. Here's the gunsmith for the Outlaw. Next up, from the AR category, we have the Groza, and it's quite logical to have this gun since it's basically an SMG disguised as an AR. To summarize it, it fits PDW mobility standards, offering a quick strafe speed at 4.1 meters per second, a quick ADS time at 230 milliseconds, and a quick sprint speed at 6.3 meters per second. It's pretty much just a PDW. The reload time is also quick, being just under 1 second. We could have mentioned the AS Val 2, since instead of being a PDW disguised as an AR, it's a QQ9 disguised as an AR. Or we could have mentioned the Peacekeeper, which is in a class of its own. But the Groza is most of the time forgotten, so bringing a little bit of light to it may finally help it get fairly rated. Here's the gunsmith for the Groza. And now, lastly from the marksman category, the most absurd thing imaginable. The MK2. The MK2 has better range than the Outlaw, and you think that because of this, it's going to have much worse mobility. And that's not exactly wrong if it wasn't for that crazy 237 millisecond ADS time. If you want to use it with a 6x zoom optic, you'd still maintain a better ADS time at 280 milliseconds against the 292 milliseconds of the Outlaw. For overall movement speed, it's around what we have on a DLQ, so it's not ideal, but it's not going to be a problem at any point. Overall, it's the one-shot weapon in the game with the most potential, except for the Argus. And I would recommend you to give it a try, even if you need to slap a zooming optic on it. Here's the gunsmith for the MK2. Whenever I hear the word fast in COD Mobile, I immediately think about SMGs, and we just did a roundup of the best ones you can use for this season. Just click the video on the left.